we go. Hello. Looks like we're live. I'll just wait for a few people to jump on before we kind of get started. We are talking about our picks for the NRHA Futurity Champion tonight. And if you have not been here with us before, then welcome. Thanks for being here. If you have been here with us before, then welcome back. My name's Lindsay. This is my husband, Jess, helping himself to a few chocolates before we get started. Straight out of the gift bag. If you are experiencing technical difficulty, the best thing for you to do is to refresh your screen. If we get cut off, we will do our best to get signed back on. We'll put a message up on our Facebook page and try to let you know how long, probably 15 minutes or so, but we're hoping we're gonna have a good connection tonight. If you need to watch the replay, then you can do that by signing up for our email list. You can do that on our website at hayescofellperformancehorses.ca. Anywhere on there you can find the button to hit subscribe. If you're finding us on Instagram, you can hit the link in our bio and find that info. If you are finding us on Facebook, then on our cover photo there is a button that says sign up, a blue button that says sign up that you can hit, and then you will get the replay delivered directly to your inbox on Tuesday morning, as well as the topic for the evening, as well as whatever's going on in our tack shop, our upcoming events, whatever is happening in our online coaching program, as well as the link to sign in there for our Momentum members. So, looks like a few people are jumping on. Can you guys hear us? Hi, Rose. Just let us know that you can hear us, and then we'll keep going. So tonight what we're going to talk about is our picks for the NRHA Futurity. Before we do that, we wanted to shout out to a few people that are watching. Wanted to shout out to Judy MacArthur, who bought a horse that is here in our barn this week, keeping it here in training. That's super, and she has been watching our lives, so that's fantastic. Thanks for watching, Judy. Wanted to shout out to Shelley Collings, who bought a horse through us last week as well, and is going to have a killer season next year. We're looking forward to that, and congratulations again to Shelley. Do you want to do the other shout outs for the people that are down at the Futurity?
Two friends of ours from Michigan, or a daughter of friends of ours, Calla Thomas, for making the, would she make the level 1 non-pro finals?
Oh, yes, I believe so.
And buddy of mine from Michigan, Kevin McElminder, will go back to the 1 finals. Mackinder. I always say his name wrong.
McElminder, yeah.
He knows who I'm talking about.
He knows.
It's not the goofiest thing to say his name wrong.
Yeah.
Peter DeFreitas, who I bought some yearlings off of this fall. He's back in the 3 finals and still has a shot at the 4 finals tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it looks like one Canadian.
One Canadian for sure. Not a personal friend of ours, but we're going to shout him out just because he's Canadian. Jesse Buckley, who's from Western Canada, had the co-high score in the first go of the level 2. So congratulations to him. Shout out to all those people. Good luck to everybody who's competing. There are a few more Canadians.
There's some that have a shot.
I don't know. Yeah, we're so at the time.
None of them are real Canadians. They all left Canada.
Oh, okay.
They're transplanted out.
What was I gonna say now? I've forgotten. Just lost my train of thought now. Oh, congratulations to everybody. Oh, I know. At the time of this recording, we are. It's Tuesday night, and the second go has just started today for the Open. So we don't actually know who the finalists are yet to be predicting who's going to win, but we're going to do our best. And obviously we're not at the event. So we're going to do our best. If you have a prediction, if you have a horse that you like, that you've been following, if you want to put it down in writing who you think is going to win so you can get all the glory later, then you should definitely do that. Let us know who you think is going to win or the horses that you've been enjoying, because we would love to hear that from all of you. So before we get into horses that we think have a shot at winning, let's just break down very quickly what a futurity is and what a big deal it is for somebody who's like, I don't even know what a big deal a futurity is or why we care about picking who's going to win. Why is it a big deal? What is it? Go.
So the Futurity is for 3-year-old reining horses. The one that we're talking about, it's in Oklahoma City. It's hands down the biggest event for the reiners. Only 3-year-olds. They have to be nominated now. Why it's such a big deal is for the breeders and the trainers. It's who can develop those young horses at an early age. I think in the Open there was 400 entries. 200 in the non-pro?
Yeah, 190, I think.
You know, winner guaranteed a paycheck of $350,000 in the Open. The big deal with it is it's mostly when you talk about breeding, training, all the stuff that has to come together to make a 3-year-old. So it's the first big test for all them 3-year-olds to be able to see whether they got the goods or not and whether they hold it together. I shouldn't say the first big test, most of them have been to a number of horse shows. But this is the big event for them. So it's kind of like junior A hockey to see who gets bumped up. You know, they're going into the NHL, who can play the game and who cannot. And that's where it plays out.
So they're nominated, entries are paid all the way through, and then when they get to the show, there's 2 go-arounds and then a finals for the Open, and then there's 1 go-around, 1 round, and then a finals for the non-pro. So if you can imagine, if you have not shown at a Futurity before, you don't know how it works, you can imagine you're taking a 3-year-old horse, showing it, if you're in the Open, you're showing it once in the go-around to qualify for the second go, then you're showing it a second time, then your composite score is what qualifies you for the finals. You're showing it 3 times over the course of 2 weeks.
Are they still taking 25 back or 30?
I'm not sure.
So yeah, only 25 or 30 make it back. And those are the ones that we're predicting?
Those are the ones we're going to try to predict. So, this year is unusual for us as far as predicting horses, because usually by this time, most years we're down at the Futurity. If not, we've usually been out to a few Futurities outside of Ontario. We usually have been out to Michigan or New York or Ohio or something, and had a chance to see some of them go. Usually the Congress is a good Futurity to see a bunch of the horses that are going to be at the NRHA Futurity, and we've had a chance to actually see the horses in the flesh ahead of time, you know, maybe in September or October, and then also see them down at the Futurity. And it's amazing to see how much they do mature physically and emotionally, or intellectually, training wise, by the time they get to the NRHA Futurity. And it's a huge advantage as far as predicting the winner to be there in person, actually seeing the horses. It's so hard to have a look just at the show performance and try to predict. So there are a few things that we kind of look at when it comes to predicting who's going to win, and that is, what horse do we think can make it through 2 go-rounds and finals? What horse looks like it's kind of physically strong enough and handling the nerves, handling all the pressure of being in the show pen, as well as which horses look like they are the most physical to do all of those plus maneuvers. Do you have anything you want to add to that about what criteria? I mean, we're saying what criteria we look at. We just kind of watch the runs and then pick our favorites, really. But there are certain things that we look at, like the one we were looking at today was one of Dan Huss had a Little Joe Cash, and we both said how solid it looked and how broke it looked. It looked like it was really prepared well to show. It looked great in the show pen. It didn't look frazzled. It just looked like it did what it was supposed to do, and looked like it was gonna keep doing that. Looked like it, you know, you never know, it's a horse show, but kind of looked like it. And that's such a huge part of such a huge part of that game. It's not just who has the biggest stop or who has the hardest turns, or the biggest freak of nature, right? With the unbelievable jaw-dropping maneuvers, it's also what horse looks the most broke.
Yeah, when you think they got 8 maneuvers, 2 go-rounds in the finals. So, 24 maneuvers. And actually 2 of the patterns are run-ins, so technically 26 maneuvers.
Yeah.
They got to stick 26 maneuvers together before they figure out who wins it. It's usually not the freak that is just so unbelievably talented. It's usually, just which horse can mentally handle, 26 maneuvers. They're under the lights for two weeks. It's hard on them. And that's one of the neat things about the Futurity too, because one thing we were talking about today, there's been very few horses win the Futurity that ended up being the biggest studs in the world. There's Wimpy's Little Step and Gonna Trash It did, but when you start going through the legends in the stud barns, you talk about Hollywood Dunnett did not win the Futurity, Topsail Whiz did not. The list just goes on and on. Smart Chicklina didn't show as a 3-year-old in the Futurity, but Gunner did not win the Futurity. Gunner Special, they all were up there. They all did well, but they weren't the ones that won the Futurity. And I think that's something that we always look at too. Is like the year that Gunner Special Night was there, he did such a good job. He ended up second. Good for him. It was definitely really cool, and he wasn't far behind. I don't even remember who won it, to be honest with you.
Florida won it on. I've forgotten now.
But when he walked out of the pen, looks like he could have come back 10 more times. He just walked out. It was every day for him. He didn't care. And that was one of the things, we sure liked about him when we saw him show. And that happens sometimes. Your favorite might not be the one that shows the best that day. There's a million different reasons why they win and don't. But, so that for us is one of the fun things about predicting too, because we're always looking at what are we going to breed to.
What are we going to breed to?
In 2 years. And not always is it the horse that won it.
That's one of the advantages to being there, being at the shows and seeing them in person, is you can actually see the size. You can see how they are when they walk. You can see how hard they're warmed up. You can see how they are when they walk out. You can see, you can see how they warm up at night. Like one of the things we like to do when we're not riding is to actually sit and watch the warm-up pen and see how they see what it takes. There's been times when we've been down there and, there's been $1 million rider or whoever who just camps on that horse, right? All day. They ride him for I don't know how many hours to get him ready.
I can think of a few of them right off the top of my head. We ain't gonna name names.
No, we're not naming names on stuff, and I don't mean it to sound like it's abusive, but like there's some horses that take a ton of riding to get them quiet enough to handle that kind of pressure. That's not one that I want to breed to.
Mm-hmm. So who's your prediction?
Oh, you're just gonna throw it at me just
throw
like
it at
that?
you like
the
that.
Winner.
Throw up $100. Let's bet on this thing right now.
$100? Oh, I thought we were gonna go through like who we would like to win and who we cheer for, and you're just gonna throw it at me like that. I'm gonna say.
Well, that's all cotton candy.
I am gonna say
bubblegum and wonderful, but I want to right now $100.
Florida is gonna win it on Alpha Jack Sparrow. I really like that horse. I think it looks super solid. I only saw it go once in the first go around because I don't think it's gone second yet, has it?
No. All the 4 riders are tomorrow.
Looked like he loped it through. It looked like it had a lot of gas in the tank. It looked super solid. Obviously, Florida knows what he's doing. He can handle the pressure of the finals. He can get one ready. He can go through the whole process. I just really like that horse. It's not one that I would have picked on paper, but I really like that horse. What one do you think is going to win? One shot deal, not if and not these 3, one horse, one rider. Don't look at my list that I wrote out of ones that I think are going to win.
Well, it's hard to.
Do you know any of their names?
I mean, it's hard to deny that one of Florida's just looks so
You
easy.
can't pick that one. I picked
I'm
it.
not picking that one. If I had to pick one, and I'm always the one that doesn't like it when the big top 5 guys win, but the Inferno of Fapanis.
Yeah.
I love that thing's mother. I've seen that mother of that horse for so many years produce so many good babies. Mm-hmm. They just come back.
Winding Inferno, right? That one?
Yeah, is that a
Fapanis?
winder up
Yeah.
chick? Mm-hmm. And the same thing, just looked like that real easy horse. The one thing that I go back to though is I like that one of Dan Huss's. What a nice horse.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about Dan too is he's never really been a futurity rider. I'm not saying he's not good at it, but he's a great non-pro coach. Likely one of the best in the business. And he can keep a non-pro's horse going forever at the biggest level. One of my favorite horses right now is a little Joe Cash. What is it?
NVR. Lucky Joe or
Lucky
something.
Joe. And the horse just keeps going. And Dan Huss has been able to do that for years. He started out in the pleasure horse world. I believe he was an instructor at Findlay.
Was he? I didn't know that.
I might be wrong on that one. Anyways,
Just pulling that out of your butt.
no, I'm pretty sure he was because him and Gene
Know each other?
know
from
each
Finley
other
days?
from there, I believe.
Okay, cool.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
it ain't very often I'm wrong, but maybe once a year.
Okay.
But I just think that's great for him. And anybody who, kind of forgets who Dan Huss is, a couple years ago at the World Show, there was a horse with the bridle fell off, and he continued the pattern, got a 0, but everybody went wow over that horse. That's the trainer. That's the
trainer,
guy.
Super
He has
nice
shown
horse.
some very nice horses in the Rainers, but he's definitely more known for being a non-pro coach, and he's a gentleman. He's a very nice gentleman. I've met him a couple times. Had one of his old horses a bunch of years ago, but he's just a nice gentleman. So, I mean, definitely gonna pull for him. But
If you were going to cheer for somebody, that who you'd be cheering for?
that would be. I love the underdog.
Yeah.
He's up against the guys that are always in the fraternity with a whack of horses.
Yeah.
But that horse just looks so happy, so sound, so solid. I really hope he does well on it. And that's just so cool to see. When people that aren't the regular 5 misfits do it.
I would agree, and I think like Trevor Dare has had a lot of success in his career, and recently with Jersey's
He's
Baby
hot.
Driver. But yeah, he's got 2 nice ones. I think he qualified 2 for the semis.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Old Time Rock and Roll and Certified Freak.
The certified freak one looks like if he gets with it. To me, it looked like a horse that maybe could get a little away with him a little bit. But if he gets with it, that looks like a really cool horse. Was raised by some Canadians from out west.
I didn't know that.
The same people that own the Crush horse.
Oh, okay.
Admore or whatever it is, ranch. I forget.
Admore, yeah.
Admore Ranch.
Okay.
They bred the horse, and then obviously I'm sure they're trying to promote the Crush horse, so they sold him. And they had another one they bred too that did real well. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I really like the way Trevor rides. Same deal as you were saying with Dan, where it's like Trevor's had a lot of success, but you always kind of want to cheer for somebody who maybe hasn't won it before.
And again, he's a younger guy,
Yeah,
but is gonna win the thing eventually.
nice guy.
And
yeah.
he's nice. Yeah, he's a nice
Oh
gentleman.
my gosh, when
He's
I wrote a thing about his equitation after he showed Jersey Baby Driver, and he wrote me back and thanked me, and nice, what a nice guy.
I knew him and his dad a little bit when they showed all around horses in Ohio, and just nice people.
Yeah.
And to me, that there's some jerks in the trainers. Do I constitute as
No,
a jerk?
we're not. Oh, I thought you were going to say, can I list them
Oh.
off? No, we're not listing them off. Not-
there's some people
not
that I
today.
definitely pull for more because I like them as a person.
Yeah.
Dan and Trevor are both very nice people. Trevor comes from a very nice family. His dad's a super all-around trainer. Just nice people, and just nice horse people,
Okay.
not just show people.
We haven't talked about Casey Deary's horses.
What, just because he's winning the go-around? Big
Well,
deal.
we should touch on that. I mean,
And he's hot. He's
We're-
definitely one of the hot trainers right now.
you think he's hot? Oh, yeah. I mean,
Comfortable saying he's a good-looking guy. I don't know.
oh my gosh.
He's, he's definitely one of his style right now and the way Reiners are being shown, it fits really well. You can't take it away. I definitely like his horse.
Well, he has, what is it, an like Flynn out of America's Next Gun Model.
Who won the Futurity?
Who won the Futurity? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he definitely has a shot. He's definitely always up there.
I didn't see the Inlike Flynn go. I seen the 1030 horse go.
I saw the Unlike Flynn go. It was nice. Obviously, it looks just like the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think the same thing, right? Top 5 guys that are always in there.
We always like to kind of cheer for Nathan Piper as well. Whatever horse he has, he's always does a nice job,
And I think he's one of those
until
guys too
recently
that
has
maybe
been
is a
kind
little
of underrated.
Yeah, underrated. He definitely took off with the Patriot horse,
Yeah,
but a great horse person, very good rider, and just a nice horse person.
yeah.
And yeah, a little underrated, I think. I don't know. I don't even know what he's riding, to be honest with you.
Okay.
He always has something.
Yeah,
There's always something he brings back and does such a good job with him. He's always up there. I would think one of these years him and Trevor, I think, are my predictions for the younger guys.
Oh, you're taking predictions on the younger guys too?
Well, if they don't win it this year, they're definitely, I think, going to. Well, Nathan isn't younger. I don't know how old he is.
Right.
I think one you can't knock out either that's very popular right now is Danny Tremblay on the Crush horse, and it looks really nice. He rode the father and gets along with it. Danny's hot right now. Like he's his style is just really fitting in right now, and he's on such a good thing. And Danny's, we knew him from up in Quebec, and I see him every once in a while. Always a nice guy, and got to cheer for that a little bit. And he's Canadian.
Yep.
He did move away from Canada, so he loses his Canadian.
Drops down a notch.
Yeah, he's not a real Canadian anymore, even just because he speaks French and whatever. He's out of being a real Canadian. He's a wannabe. But definitely can't knock him out. He's been so popular and has such nice horses right now. Who else do you think is in there?
I'm gonna cheer for Tishman. I'm gonna cheer for Josh Tishman. He has what does he have? One qualified for the level 4, I think I saw. So he must have shown today. Not only because, I mean, he's got a killer career going on, but because in 2017 I hauled against him for a world title, and if he could jump in there into the finals and win it, or get into the finals and do a good job up in there, I think that'd be cool. That'd be very cool for him.
And he's been the assistant for Casey Deary for a number of years.
Yeah.
And I think, didn't he win the qualifier at the Run for a Million too?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few of the newer, I shouldn't say newer guys, but guys that normally haven't knocked on those level 4 stuff maybe as hard, but I think there's a bunch that might step up. It should be an interesting one. The one thing I think is neat this year, and it's been going that way, how there's just so many nice horses.
There's so many nice horses.
It's not like years ago. I can remember 25 years ago, you went, yep, there's 10 that could win it, and the rest are all just playing for day money. Now it's like, heck, there's 50 of them that don't even make the finals, where you think they could have if they, just would have stepped up that one day or something. So that's pretty
didn't
cool.
Have one little blooper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember the first Futurity I ever went to years ago. Went down there, and when the finals was on, there would be like certain people would walk in the pen with certain horses. Everybody would take notice, and then they would walk out, and people would get out of their seats and go get a drink, or start talking. They wouldn't even, because they knew they weren't going to make. They knew they weren't going to win it. As we're now, I mean, pick a horse, pick a rider. They're all capable of it, and the horses you know, if they made the finals, they're all capable of something. You know, another one that's never won it is Brian Bell. And he's riding a little Joe Cash that looks really fancy.
Andy's $1 million rider, right?
$2 million?
Two? Did he just cross 2?
Pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he's over the 2 million. And that's always kind of a neat thing too, because he's riding horses that his family have raised for a couple generations. So that's kind of neat. Who's on there you want to look at?
So you're saying Fapani on Winding Inferno. I'm saying Florida on Alpha Jack Sparrow. We're betting $100 on it.
Sure.
Like, what if they don't win it, but like one of them beats the other
Sure.
on those horses?
I'll write you a check.
Okay, great. I can't wait for that. So if you guys have predictions, write them in here. We'd love to see them. I don't think we have too many comments in here. We're just chatting. Lacey agrees. I think that was with the very
agrees with
beginning.
me. No, she agrees with me.
I think she agrees with me and what I was saying about Dan Huss at the very beginning. Daphne's saying any of the top 10 horses and riders are wow runs. The scores are high. The runs are awesome to watch. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying watching it, Daphne. And I'm gonna just offer my coaching advice, like I like to impress on people, is to make sure that you don't just watch the level 4 futurity. Watch some of the other stuff. Watch some of the
Watch the non-pro.
yeah, watch the non-pro futurity, but also watch what's happening in the other arena. I was talking to Kim earlier today. Kim, I think you're on here now. I was talking to Kim earlier today, and she was watching some of what was going on in the other arena, and she noticed that her eye has developed from last year. She was picking up on a lot of stuff that she hadn't picked up on before, and watched what she thought was a Green Rainer or rookie class, and that's where she shows. And I think that's so beneficial to do. If you can sit and watch the class that you show in, it's really fun to watch the Futurity finals, but it's also really valuable to sit and watch the class that you show in. Lacey's saying she will always agree with me.
She's lying. Where can I watch?
Yeah.
Just go to NRHA Futurity, and when you go to watch live, there's 2 arenas. So the Coliseum is the Futurity stuff.
The Adequan.
The Adequan is the auxiliary, which is like the older horses.
Yeah, so what's happening in the Adequan is the North American affiliate finals. So some people that are showing in that have qualified through their region, so they've had to be in the top whatever in their affiliate. So like, let's say in the top, I can't remember what it is now, 10 or 12 in Ontario, let's say, and then you have to qualify through your Eastern Canadian affiliate, and then you would go to the North American final, and you would compete against other people who have qualified through their affiliate, their region, and now they are also at the North American. So you have that part going on, and you also have just a regular horse show going on. So those classes are run concurrently. So if you watch some of that stuff, you'll see some Green Rainers, some rookies, some little bit of everything over on that side. Daphne's checking out the score sheets after she watches the run. Yeah, that's a great opportunity to do that, to have a look at the score sheets as you're watching runs. Great idea, Daphne. That's a good suggestion. Really good suggestion.
Especially if you can take the score sheet, rewind the run, and then go over it as you're going.
Pick it out a little bit. Yeah. All right, anybody have any predictions for what horse or what rider is going to win? It's early to be predicting. It's only Tuesday night. We don't even know the results of the semifinal, but if anybody has a prediction, you should write it in now so that you get credit for it when that person wins. We're not sending anybody $100 if they win.
But if we win, you can send it to us.
But yes, exactly.
It's only a one-way bet.
Yeah. Our address is...
And
Good.
for anybody that doesn't know too, you can watch it Saturday, or actually any day.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch the finals.
Yes, you can watch it for free. And the quality is good now. The quality of the live feed is good. It's a fun thing
What is
to
it, the
do.
non-pros on Friday? And the shootout?
I can't remember. I haven't really looked a lot.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
And then Saturday is all the open fraternity finals and stuff. I think the
Yep.
level 4 is like 5 or 6 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
There's a
Fun thing to do. Sit and watch. Make
then
some
in a
good
couple
snacks.
weeks there'll be or week and a half or so will be the finals for the cut and fraternity. Same thing. That's always fun to watch. See what young studs are going to produce and what old studs come back for one. It's always neat.
Yep. All right. We're ready to go.
I got my bet in.
You got your bet in. I
I'll
got
just
mine
watch
in.
the race.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for being here tonight with us, you guys. Hopefully, you found that entertaining. Hopefully, maybe you got a little piece out of that will inspire you to watch and look for specific things. And we will be back next week on Tuesday at 7:30. We got a couple of great topics coming up. If you have a topic that you would like for us to address, somebody sent me a message yesterday and said we need to address Colt starting on Yellowstone on one of our Tuesday night lives.
It is a horse show. Or it is
It
a
is a
TV
television
show. It is not.
Yeah,
We know it's not accurate because they had a scene where the horse show office had nobody in it.
yeah.
So we already know that it's
And
false.
the person in
fake.
the office was smiling and the checks were massive. Anyways, if you have a topic or a question that you would like for us to address, you can send it in to us at hayescofalph@gmail.com. You can also send us a message on Facebook. We'll add it to our list and probably get to it sometime in January or February. We have a bunch of good ones all lined up for the next little while, as well as Ask Jess Anything on his birthday, which is December 28th. I still have space for a few more questions that we can
Do I
hammer.
get to see him beforehand?
No. Well, I don't know. I'll decide. I make the rules.
Can we predict next year's fraternity since you rode your fraternity horse for the first time?
Predict
not
next
the
year's
first time, but-
futurity now, right now.
Yeah, like you've been on your fraternity horse.
Are
So
you
like,
gonna
how do you
predict
feel you're going to
me?
do it next year at the fraternity?
You should predict your wife.
I'll put $100 up that you'll win it.
Okay.
I don't want to drive all the way there and back with you going a bit against me.
You don't want to drive all the way there and back if I don't win.
No, just betting against you. Wouldn't matter if you won or not. Just betting against you.
Well, you got a lot of work to do on that horse if I'm going to win next year. Okay, so if you have a topic, send it in to us. If you're interested in finding out more about the tax shop that we have, you can go onto our website. If you are interested in finding out more about the online coaching program that we have that is opening up again for new members in the beginning of January, you can find that on our website or directly at momentumhcph.com. Like I said, that's opening up in January. We're also going to we did a challenge a couple months ago now for the fourth quarter of 2021. We're also going to do another challenge in the beginning of 2022. So if you have things that you want to line up and goals that you want to set for 2022 for you and your horse or your show season or whatever. It doesn't have to be a big outlandish goal, but it definitely can be a big outlandish goal. It can be whatever you like. We are going to go through all of that in the challenge format at the beginning of January. Looking forward to doing that again. It was really fun. We had 134 participants last time, and it was really fun to go through. So we're going to do that again in January, so you can spend the whole month of December not fretting about making your goals for next year. We'll go through that all in January. I'll make sure that you guys have the info for that. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
See you later.